Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. I am Chief Executive Officer of the National Mining Company in Kazakhstan, Tau-Ken Samruk. If my colleague Ruslan from government, from political and administrative power, I am government business. I am from government business, and I want to explain some about the business in Kazakhstan according to our new legislations, amendments in tax and in other ways, options. I will start with a brief overview of some advantages of investment climate in the mining and metal sector in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the ninth largest country in the world with population of over 18 million people. Kazakhstan has a favorable investment climate. This is a relatively high level of political stability, relatively serious attention which the government pays to the creation and maintaining of a favorable climate for investors, and the endowment of the country with natural resources. Kazakhstan holds 28th position of World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rating for 2019, and is ranked number 1 in such specific point as protecting minority rights, and number 4 in enforcing contracts. It also ranks 59th in Global Competitiveness Index and first in manufacturing locations of the Future report. It also has investment grade credit rating by most respectable credit agencies, and in 2017 S&P and Moody's changed their outlook from negative to stable. Kazakhstan also demonstrated rapid economic growth. Its GDP increased 9 times from the 2000s and 2 times over the last decade. At the same time, Kazakhstan has low debt of GDP ratio and is ranked 187th out of the 210 countries by the amount of debt relative to GDP. After the launching of new code, subsoil code, Kazakhstan officially achieve a good ranks in the Fitch rating agency. The low level of external public debt together with the stable state of the reserves of the National Bank and the National Oil Fund are factors of economic stability in the face of possible external economic shocks. Furthermore, Kazakhstan is member of Eurasian Economic Union, together with Russia, Belarus, Armenia and Kyrgyzstan, and an integrated single market of 186 million people, and a gross domestic product of over $3 trillion. The EU introduces the free movement of goods, capital, services and the people, and provides for common policies in macroeconomic sphere, transport, industry, agriculture, energy and the foreign trade sectors. Besides, Kazakhstan is member of global trading system WTO and adopted its rules of regulations of those necessitated by WTO package. In metal mining sector, main thing it's a geolocation. We are close to China, major consumer of natural resource in the world, and to Russia, also big market of some minerals. Kazakhstan exports 29% and 30% of metallurgical products to China and Russia accordingly. We are also part of the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, which is an adaptation of the historical Silk Road. The belt is network of overland road and railroads, oil and natural gas pipelines and other infrastructure projects that will stretch from Xi'an in central China through Central Asia and reach as far as Moscow, Rotterdam and Venice. Shortly after President Xi Jinping launched the Belt and Road Joint Construction Initiative, our President Nursultan Nazarbayev announced the new economic policy Nurlu Jol, which is strongly interlinked with the Belt and Road Initiative. There is a well-developed infrastructure in Kazakhstan. It's not necessary to spend billions of dollars to build new railway roads or ports as it is in Africa or South America to develop a deposit. Main infrastructure with access to most part of the country is already built, which results in lower transportation cost and the increase in productivity. That is, there is less delays delivery of goods and services. Kazakhstan has relatively low power costs and skillful labor costs, which is very important for mining and the metal sector. Kazakhstan has significant resource of different minerals. How said before my colleague Ruslan, the country possesses 30% of the world's chrome ore reserves and currently the world's leading uranium producer, Kazatomprom. In the industry sector of Kazakhstan, the mining metallurgy is the second most important after oil production. In the total volume of extraction of metal ores in first quarter of 2018, the majority of 81% accounts are for non-ferrous metal ores and the rest 19% are for iron ore. The structure of the metallurgical industry composed from output of ferrous metallurgy and basic noble and non-ferrous metals amounted approximately 40 and 60% accordingly. In general, the dynamics of the production volumes in mining and metallurgical sector has a positive trend in condition of favorable external and internal conjuncture. Growth of metals price, a relatively high level of demand in the domestic and neighbor countries market. It's and the amendments of the regulations of metals and mining sector very well before explained my colleague, and I said about the result of reforms. Kazakhstan climbed 49th positions in Fraser Institute annual survey of mining companies and now holds 24th place out of 104 mining jurisdictions in the investment attractiveness index. It's involving AIFC. I want to explain some brief about the AIFC. It's Astana International Financial Center. We have just launched this center. In 2017, Astana International Financial Center was introduced, a financial hub for Central Asia, the Caucasus, EAU, Middle West, East, West China, Mongolia, and Europe, which provides a transparent and understandable legal regime based on the best world practice, like English law and independent court. The center will be situated within Expo 2017. Among priorities of AIFC is establishment of transparent legal regime. There is a special jurisdiction within the framework of the Constitution of Republic Kazakhstan formed on the AIFC territory. Jurisdiction with its own commercial and civil law reproduced in accordance with the English common law and in case uncertainly referring to the original source in English common law. Secondly, on the territory of AIFC, a regulatory regime that corresponds to the recognized world standard is created, like understandable and coherent regulatory framework and a regulator with clear and objective responsibilities, sufficient power, resources, and opportunities to properly perform duties and functions. Special tax regime, exemption from payment of corporate individual income, land tax and property tax for a period of 50 years. Simplified visa regime, a visa-free regime will be provided up to 30 days for OECD, UAE, Malaysian, Singapore, and Monaco citizens. Participants of the AIFC and their family members will enjoy a special visa regime with the possibility of extending to 5 years. About government involvement, also my colleague explained about the Kaz geology. I want to explain about our company, some brief. Sovereign Wealth Fund Samruk Kazna GSC is a fund where the sole shareholder is the government of the Kazakh Republic of Kazakhstan. It manages portfolio of companies operating in a number of industries of the Republic of Kazakhstan, including oil and gas, mining, smelting, transport and logistics, chemical and nuclear energy, real estate and others. Tau-Ken Samruk is a 100 subsidiary of Samruk Kazna company and is a national mining company with a diversified portfolio of assets specializing in mining and production of solid commercial minerals, including zinc, lead, gold, copper, and others. And in Kazakhstan market, we have about 220 registered mining enterprises are involved into material producing and processing operation in Kazakhstan. It's like Tau-Ken Samruk, Kazatomprom, Kaz Minerals, Central Asia Metals, ArcelorMittal Temirtau, Rio Tinto, Glencore, Polymetal, Celtic, and etc. And some brief about our company, specifically about Tau-Ken Samruk. The company was established in 2009 in accordance with the decree of government of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The mission of the company is to develop mining and metal sector of Kazakhstan through development of investment projects. It's now we have started to establish a new GV with our strategic partners, and one of the main direction it's developing new projects in rare earths and the rare metals sector. And we have current projects in different ways. It's running 8 projects in zinc, lead, tungsten, iron, silicon metal, copper, and gold and silver. We have good experience with Glencore to manage our subsidiary company Kazzinc. It's and through Kazzinc and the Shalkia Zinc, Tau-Ken Samruk controls major Kazakhstan zinc producers. It's approximately 190,000 tons of zinc per year. And we have a 100% subsidiary company, Shalkia Zinc, which managed the Shalkia deposit as a 22nd largest in the world. And one interesting fact, historical fact, it's about one of our assets, Spassky copper ore field is more than 100 years old. It established by the New Zealand-born Englishman E. Nelson Field and his older brother Arthur Pell, later Sir, in 1903. Later English engineers were working there, including Mr. Arthur Gordon McRae, engineer from Sydney, who spent 3 years at Spassky mine as smelting superintendent in the beginning of the 20th century. In his interview, he noted that he was one of the 8 Englishmen in a community of more than 1,000 Russians and 500,000 Kyrgyz. McRae was a passenger of the Titanic, which set sail from Southampton and 100 years ago and famously sank in the North Atlantic Ocean. Also in 1913, shares of Spassky copper mine were traded in London. There is a document in public sources. Currently, Tau-Ken Samruk conducts their exploration works and seeks for the strategic partner to jointly implement their project. And Tau-Ken Samruk, it's our main strategy. We develop and support new projects, invite strategic partners. We are ready to become a local reliable partner, support the development of the new projects, new interesting deposits in Kazakhstan. Thank you for your attention.